Welcome back. We were talking about this a lot. Well, not this, but the question and answer segment. We were asking for people's questions because that's what we try to do. You know, we're taking this information, we're trying to make it in a way that everyone can understand and as clear as possible. So we got question. I'm gonna read this one.
Okay.
How strong will Beryl be at landfall? Great question. These are coming into the studio, and right now, it's a tropical storm.
Yeah, surprisingly,
yeah, tropical storm.
The forecast cone yesterday had Beryl being at hurricane strength already by 1 o'clock today. That hasn't been the case. We've been talking about maybe it's entraining some of that dust, or sucking up some of the dust.
The Hurricane Center's discussion, they write up a lengthy thing and they're talking about dry air intrusion. In other words, I think it's Saharan dust. It's a big, mass of it around it, and I think that's mitigating some development.
Yeah, so right now it's still tropical storm Beryl, 65-mile-per-hour winds, but it does have hurricane force gusts at 75 miles per hour. There is where it is one more time. And here is the forecast cone to answer the question, how strong is it going to get? The forecast cone still, I think over the past couple of days, they've been pretty consistent saying 85 miles per hour.
It was 90 at one point.
Yeah.
They dropped it a little bit, so, that's where they're at.
Going right back and forth around 85 miles per hour, kind of like the forecast line. It's kind of been going back and forth in the same area. Same thing with their intensity over the past couple of forecast models or forecast cones. So that's where it's at right now, expecting to make landfall early in the morning, overnight hours. So thinking 1 to 3 a.m. That's what the Hurricane Center is showing as a Category 1 storm.
As you're looking at this with us, just to like kind of digest what we're seeing in the cone, this little line right here, this line represents the timeline. So 1 a.m. here, given a 10-mile-per-hour movement, we're looking at the hours after 1 o'clock in the morning for that landfall in Matagorda County.
And the timestamp.
Oh, we got my big head was blocking it.
That's okay. That is a-okay. But yeah, that is where Beryl is expected to go, track up into northeast Texas.
Look at this. Look how far inland the tropical storm warnings go.
60 miles per hour. They're still expecting those tropical storm force winds. So sorry to my parents, it's going right over y'all. But then it continues out as a rainmaker for northeast Texas and eventually up into the Great Lakes, like you mentioned.
By Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be scooting.
Yeah, that's faster than a road trip, it seems like.
Yeah, probably.
Depends on how many times you stop, I guess. Yeah. What impacts will the brush country get? Another fair question. We're talking about this a lot. Primarily, the impacts are going to be near the center of this thing. So this is where we're worried, and this is outside of KIII country. Brush country, our friends out toward Freer, Benavides, Hebronville, Falfurrias, very minimal impacts. You might not even get any rain. It looks like the rain's also going to be focused closer to center.
Yeah, maybe a stray gust of wind to mess up your hairdo, but
minor
really,
impacts out west.
Yeah, so that's the wind. Here's the rain. Again, most of the rain, the wind, a lot of those impacts, the highest surge, all of that is going to be either close to the center of the storm or on the eastern side of it. So 5 to 8 inches of rain plus storm surge, not very
it's going to be messy up in the middle Texas Gulf Coast.
Yeah, but for us here in the coastal bend, again, brush country, not really expecting much in terms of rain. Maybe some of those bands are able to push past 281, but earlier with our radar check, they weren't really pushing too far past that.
It's interesting to see a lot of the rain bands just kind of coming in and then they're not that strong once they're over land for a little while, and that's because we're so far away from the center.
Yeah, they're losing their moisture.
Yeah.
So once you get to Corpus Christi and a little closer to the center of Beryl, then your chances start to go up to maybe an inch or two of rain. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So unfortunately for the brush country, not really looking like much rain for them. Next question that we got in, are the roads going to be okay to drive to work on Monday morning? So
I'll take it. We're talking about the rain. Those rain bands are going to continue to come in tonight and into early tomorrow morning. We are expecting that. So if you're trying to drive around tonight, I would you never want to be driving really long distances at night, right? Try to avoid that. And then you add on the rain, the breeziness, the downpours. It's just not a great mixture. I mean, if you were going up to like San Antonio, something like that, I think iffy, but I wouldn't. If you're going up to Houston, I would probably not be doing that tonight. So it depends on where you're going, I think.
Yeah, stay at home, watch a movie. Watch us here. We're going to be on again at 10.
We are?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll be here.
Goodness,
at 10.
Alan, 10 p.m. newscast. Yes. So you probably will be able to go to work tomorrow. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Will the Nueces and Oso Bays flood? Alan, you want to take that?
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting with that surge forecast, 2 to 4 feet. You know, we're talking Nueces Bay, Oso Bay. You know, they're relatively small. So when you have a smaller body of water and a shallower body of water, the wind is going to be able to push it around a little bit more fluently. So we were talking about with Michael Gibson, the storm circulating like so in the Gulf, the broader wind flow is going to be out of the north and west as that storm tracks up toward Matagorda County. And if you're on, I'll put it this way, if you're on the south side of one of those bays, the Oso Bay or the Nueces Bay, if you're on the south to southeast side of those bays, that's the direction the water's going to be pushing, but it doesn't look crazy bad or high, 2 to 4 feet for most, and that would be, you know, Alberto-esque, but it looks like we're verifying lower at this point.
We are,
We've already had the high tide and the surge heights at this point. You know, Port Aransas is the highest at about 1.5 feet. And the forecast, remember, is 3 to 5 feet on Gulf-facing beaches. We've already had our high tide. The storm hasn't passed yet, but with the winds out of the north, it's kind of a cap on the surge height.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
Are we done talking about it? Are there any more questions?
I think that's all the questions we had lined up.
Okay, we're done with the Q&A. We're going to do this probably again at 10.
Yeah.
We got another, I guess we have another show, I found out. I knew.
You're here on a Sunday,
right.
and I think we're
feels
all
different.
a little,
Okay.
what day is it? What time is it?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
And
But
the 10
great
o'clock.
Q&A.